There was a time when I thought life's blessings belonged to other people, to the lucky ones, the talented ones, the strong and fearless. I watched abundance bloom in other people's gardens and wondered if something inside me was broken or missing. I didn't yet know what I know now. Life wasn't withholding anything from me. It was simply waiting for me to open my heart. I used to believe that I had to prove myself to be worthy of love, that I had to hustle to deserve support, that I had to earn joy by suffering first. But life, in its infinite kindness, gently unraveled those beliefs and brought me back to the truth. I was already worthy. I just hadn't learned how to receive. Receiving is not a skill most of us are taught. We're raised to give, to strive, to perform, to carry. Generosity is praised. Sacrifice is romanticized. But allowing, receiving, accepting goodness without struggle, that felt indulgent, even selfish. But I now know that receiving is not selfish, it is sacred. So let's take this moment together, just you and me, to breathe, to pause, to soften the edges of your day. Let's slow everything down and remember, life is not just something to survive, it's something to welcome. Every breath is an invitation. Every sunrise is a whispered yes. The universe is always offering, always pouring out beauty, love, wisdom, support, not just occasionally, but constantly. It's not that blessings are rare. It's that sometimes we forget to say yes to them. I've learned that when I open my heart, I remember that love was never gone. It was never outside of me. It was simply waiting for my welcome. And so I invite you now into the same spacious remembering, the same gentle power. Let's begin with one small sacred step together. Place your hand over your heart. Take a breath soft and slow and whisper to yourself, I am ready to receive. Pause and feel. Maybe your shoulders drop a little. Maybe your breath goes a bit deeper. Maybe, just maybe, something tender opens inside. That's the beginning of openness. That's the start of allowing. In this essay, I want to share how learning to open, truly open, changed my life. How those 7 simple words, I am open and receptive to all good, became a doorway into love, into prosperity, into divine guidance and trust. Because being receptive is not a weakness, it's how life flows through us. And when we are open, we do not chase blessings. We become a space where blessings arrive naturally. So, let's begin this journey together. Let's walk gently, with breath, with grace, with love, and discover what becomes possible when we say yes to all the good life has for us. There was a chapter in my life when I believed, truly believed, that good things had to be earned through exhaustion. I thought that if I just worked harder, gave more, proved myself better, that eventually love, peace, or abundance would arrive as a reward. I didn't realize that I had built a wall of effort so high nothing could get in. I was always giving, always striving, always doing my best, but I was never stopping to receive. It was as though I stood under a waterfall of blessings, love, ideas, support, inspiration with an umbrella of unworthiness over my head. I was too busy trying to deserve joy to notice that joy had been knocking all along. I confused doing with deserving. I confused busyness with value. I believed that resting was laziness and that accepting help was weakness. But life, in its quiet wisdom, never stopped offering. Every morning the sun rose whether I felt worthy or not. Trees gave oxygen, rain gave nourishment. My heart kept beating, my lungs kept breathing, all without me earning it. One morning, I was watching the light change through the window, and something inside me softened. A whisper rose from somewhere deep, not from the mind, but from the soul, and it said, "The universe isn't withholding. You've just been holding the door closed." It stopped me. I looked at how tightly I'd been gripping, controlling, planning, fearing, and in that moment, I chose to loosen my grip. I chose to open, even if just a little, and something shifted. That day, I began a new practice, one so simple it surprised me. I am open and receptive to all good. At first, it felt strange. I whispered it awkwardly in the mirror. I wrote it in my journal with hesitation, but something in my body knew it was true. And little by little, I began to feel the current of life again. Doors started to open, not because I pushed them, but because I stopped pushing at all. I realized that the energy of allowing is magnetic. When I soften, I attract. When I breathe, I receive. When I trust, I bloom. Now, I say this every morning. Good flows to me easily and effortlessly. It reminds me that life is not a competition to win or a mountain to climb. It is a field of blessings always in bloom, waiting for me to open my arms and say yes. And so I do. Every day I say yes. The more I opened myself to life, the more I began to understand something subtle but powerful. Everything is energy, and every thought, every word, every feeling is a vibration I send out into the world. No one taught me that growing up, I wasn't raised to see thoughts as creative forces. But when I started working with affirmations, I felt it for myself. I would sit in silence in the morning and repeat the words, "I am open and receptive to all good." Sometimes I'd whisper them slowly. Other times I'd say them aloud, over and over, like a song I was learning to sing from the inside out. At first it felt mechanical, like I was just speaking empty phrases. But then something shifted. After enough repetition, I could feel my shoulders relax. My breath would deepen, my chest would expand, and I knew something was changing, not outside of me, but inside. I began to realize that affirmations aren't just sentences. They are signals. Each one is like a tuning fork for my energy, aligning me with the vibration of what I truly desire, not from desperation, but from resonance. Saying, I am a magnet for love, joy, and prosperity is not just wishful thinking. It's an act of alignment. It tells the universe, this is the frequency I'm choosing to live on. And just like a radio dial, when I shifted my station from fear to faith, from lack to love, everything began to sound different. People responded differently. The world felt softer, more welcoming. Even ordinary moments sparkled with possibility. I remember one morning walking into a store and being greeted with unusual kindness by the clerk. I felt so seen, so appreciated. It was a small interaction, but I knew it wasn't random. It was resonance. I had been broadcasting peace, and peace came back to meet me. Affirmations became my daily ritual, like brushing my energetic teeth. I would speak them aloud as I made tea, write them on sticky notes, say them in the car, and whisper them before sleep, not as superstition, but as a spiritual discipline, a way of reminding my body and mind who I truly am. Here are the words I return to most. My words create my reality. I am a magnet for love, joy, and prosperity. I don't say them to force the universe to obey me. I say them to become the person who naturally attracts love, joy, and prosperity. I say them to harmonize with the truth that good things want to find me, and all I need to do is tune in. Each word is a note. Each note is a vibration. Each vibration is a prayer. And every day, with every affirmation, I'm composing a life that sings. So I invite you, before the world asks anything of you, before you scroll or rush, start your day with one loving sentence. Say it like it matters, because it does. Let it be your tuning fork. Let it be your signal. Let it be your truth. There's something I've come to understand, not with my intellect, but with my experience. I don't have to say a word for people to feel me. Long before I open my mouth, my energy speaks. It took me a long time to realize that we all carry an invisible field around us. Some people call it an aura, others call it presence. To me, it's simply the energy I radiate, a silent signal that tells the world how I feel about myself, about life, and what I'm expecting in return. When I used to walk into rooms with worry in my chest or doubt in my mind, I could feel how people subtly recoiled, not with cruelty, just with quiet hesitation. It was as if I was wearing an invisible, closed sign across my heart. But something beautiful happened when I began to shift that energy, not by faking confidence, but by gently choosing trust. I would pause before entering a space, take a breath, and say to myself, I walk in a field of loving energy. ebb. That one simple sentence softened me. It reminded me to open not just my posture, but my spirit. And I began to see how openness attracts openness. The more I relaxed into a sense of inner safety, the more people smiled. Conversations flowed more easily. Invitations came. Surprises unfolded. Doors didn't open because I pushed them. They opened because I was in harmony with them. Fear repels. Trust attracts. That's not just poetic language. It's energetic law. I remember standing in line at a cafe one morning. I had just repeated my affirmations in the car, and I felt peaceful, even radiant. Out of nowhere, the woman ahead of me turned around and said, "You have the most calming presence." We ended up talking for 15 minutes, and that small exchange lifted my whole day. That's when I truly believed it. Our inner state becomes our outer experience. What I think, I feel. What I feel, I radiate. What I radiate, I attract. Now, I make it a practice before meetings, before walks, before phone calls. I take a moment to become aware of my energy. I place a hand on my heart and ask, what am I broadcasting right now? And if I find anxiety or impatience, I don't judge it. I simply breathe and choose again. Because when I fill my field with loving intention, life responds in kind. Here are two of my favorite affirmations that keep me tuned to that higher frequency. I walk in a field of loving energy, and what I send out returns multiplied with love. They're not just words, they are invitations, they are reminders that the most powerful transformation begins in the unseen, in the invisible field that surrounds me and flows through me. And now I step into each moment like a gentle prayer, trusting that my energy always goes before me and it speaks volumes. There was a time when I believed that life had to be hard, that anything too easy couldn't be real, that if I didn't earn it with effort or sacrifice, I didn't deserve it. And beneath all that, if I'm honest, was fear. Fear that I wasn't enough. Fear that if I opened too wide, I'd be disappointed. Fear that ease was indulgent, not sacred. What I now understand is this: resistance is not a flaw, it's a habit, a learned pattern that once tried to protect me, but eventually only blocked the very things I was craving. I remember the subtle ways it showed up: turning down compliments by making a joke, brushing off good news with, "We'll see," or immediately questioning the joy when something beautiful happened. I thought I was being humble or realistic. In truth, I was just afraid to fully receive. One day, in meditation, I had an image. Resistance is like holding my breath. I imagine myself gripping tight, lungs empty, fists clenched as if bracing for the next hit. I thought this tension was strength. I thought it kept me safe. But in that moment, I saw it clearly. It was only making me tired. That was the turning point. I began to speak gently to the part of me that was afraid. I didn't shame her. I didn't try to force change. I just whispered, I am willing to release resistance. And something in me, something ancient and quiet, finally exhaled. I started noticing the moments when I pushed goodness away. A kind word, I'd pause, breathe, and say, thank you, I receive that. End quote. An unexpected opportunity, I'd place a hand on my chest and whisper, it's safe to say yes. Every time I softened, something beautiful softened back toward me. Because life isn't withholding. Life is responding. And every time I say yes, even a tiny, trembling yes, the universe meets me with grace. It's not about being perfect. It's about being willing. Now, I know that openness isn't weakness. It's strength of the highest kind. The kind that trusts. The kind that surrenders. The kind that says, I don't have to do this alone. Let's pause together now. Close your eyes for a moment and simply notice, where do you still hesitate to receive? Is it love, support, compliments, rest? Now, gently whisper to yourself, I am safe to open. Even a whisper begins to dissolve the wall. Let these affirmations become part of your breath. I release the need to control, and I trust life to bring me what is mine. Every time I return to them, I feel myself opening like a window on a spring morning. No force, just light, warmth, and air I didn't know I needed. This is what it means to let go, not to fall, but to rise into something bigger than fear. One of the most powerful truths I've ever learned is this: the universe never argues, it only echoes. It doesn't judge my words. It doesn't analyze whether I meant them. It simply listens and reflects. Every thought I think, every sentence I speak becomes a request, a signal, a seed, and life, generous, responsive, unconditionally supportive, says, yes, beloved, as you believe, so shall it be. When I first realized this, I was stunned. I began catching myself mid-thought, saying things like, nothing ever works out for me, or I'm not ready yet. And then I'd notice how often those very beliefs shaped my reality. It wasn't punishment, it was reflection. Life was holding up a mirror to my own vibration. One morning, I was rushing out the door, already overwhelmed before the day had even begun. I heard myself say out loud, this day is going to be a mess. I stopped in my tracks, and instead of letting that sentence set the tone, I paused and breathed. I gently corrected myself. This day is unfolding in perfect harmony. I choose peace. That shift changed everything, not just the energy of the moment, but how the day actually played out. I moved through it calmer, more grounded, and with unexpected support showing up when I needed it most. That was when I truly understood. Every new thought is a new beginning. every single one, no matter what came before. Now, I imagine my mind as a garden. For years, I unconsciously planted weeds, doubt, fear, criticism. But now, I plant flowers, trust, joy, love, gratitude. And even if an old weed pops up now and then, I don't panic. I just gently pull it out, thank it for the lesson, and plant something better in its place. I have learned to speak with intention not just about what I see, but about what I choose to create. I speak as though what I desire is already on its way, because in truth, it is. Affirmations are how I speak to the universe and how the universe learns what to echo back. Now, I say with a full heart, I say yes to life, and life says yes to me. Abundance surrounds me, and I welcome it, and I mean it. I no longer wait for proof to believe. I believe first, and the proof arrives. I am not a passive observer of life. I am an active participant in its creation. And when I choose thoughts that align with love, worthiness, and trust, life becomes a dance of reflection, a sacred conversation where yes meets yes. This isn't magic, it's awareness, and awareness is the beginning of all transformation. So I remind myself gently, every day, my thoughts are seeds, my heart is the Sunday, my life is the garden, and I am its loving gardener. One of the simplest, most powerful practices I've ever embraced is this. I close my eyes, I breathe deeply, and I imagine myself surrounded by golden light. It started on a morning when I felt uncertain, pulled between choices, unsure of which way to go. I sat quietly and visualized a radiant glow around my entire body, as if the sun itself had wrapped me in its warmth, and something in me softened. I felt safe. I felt seen. I felt guided. That golden light became my daily ritual, my spiritual signal that I am never alone. Each time I return to it, I remember there is a divine presence walking with me, whispering through intuition, nudging me through grace. Divine guidance, I've learned, isn't about hearing loud answers or seeing signs in the sky. It's something much gentler, like a feeling of clarity, an ease in the chest, a moment of inner yes. It's when ideas come not through force, but flow. When the right words arrive just when I need them. When I find myself at the right place, at the right time, without having tried to control a thing. I am divinely guided and protected at all times. End quote. This affirmation has carried me through so much. I used to try and plan every detail, worried that if I didn't control it, I'd miss the opportunity or make the wrong move. But that tension only created resistance. I was trying to force open doors that weren't mine, while the doors meant for me stood unlocked, just waiting. It wasn't until I truly let go, until I trusted that life knows how to guide me, that things began to shift. Not because I stopped caring, but because I started trusting. I realized that divine protection isn't a shield that blocks all difficulty. It's a quiet current that redirects, leading me away from what's not aligned and gently steering me toward what is. I think back now to all the things I thought I wanted, but didn't receive: the rejections, the delays, the closed paths, and I see them for what they really were: redirections for my highest good. The universe wasn't denying me, it was guiding me. Now, when something doesn't go according to plan, I pause and say, this or something better, and I trust that it will be so. That golden light, whether I visualize it or simply feel, it is a reminder that I walk with love beside me, that I am not alone, that life wants me to flourish, not struggle. And in this awareness, my heart opens wider, my breath deepens, my spirit relaxes, because I know I am safe to receive my blessings. I don't have to earn divine support. It's already here. All I have to do is allow it. So each day, I come back to the light. I let it fill my body, my mind, my choices, and my path. And I move forward not with fear, but with faith, because I am guided, I am protected, and I am ready for all the good life has in store. Gratitude to me is the gentle sister of openness. If saying, I am open and receptive to all good, unlocks the door, then saying, thank you, invites more blessings to walk through it. I didn't always understand the quiet power of gratitude. I used to look for big signs, major breakthroughs, obvious miracles. But the day I began noticing the small things, the softness of a blanket, the first sip of tea, the light filtering through the window, something shifted. Suddenly life didn't feel like something I had to chase. It felt like something I got to receive. That's the magic of gratitude. It multiplies whatever you give attention to. It turns ordinary mornings into sacred beginnings. It transforms even the simplest acts into moments of grace. Gratitude is the open palm that catches the rain of miracles. These days, I begin and end every day with a gratitude ritual. In the morning, before I even get out of bed, I whisper, thank you. Thank you for this breath. Thank you for this new day. Thank you for another chance to grow, to love, to live. It takes less than a minute, but it aligns my whole being. My mind softens. My heart opens. My energy expands. At night, I take a moment, just a few quiet breaths, and list 5 things I appreciated during the day. They don't have to be extraordinary. Sometimes it's as simple as the smile of a stranger, the way the sun felt on my skin, a kind word I said to myself. Over time, this practice has become more than a habit. It's become a way of seeing. I no longer overlook the beauty in my life. I collect it. I've learned that gratitude isn't something I feel only after something good happens. It's something I choose, and then the goodness grows. There is no faster way to shift your energy from fear to peace, from doubt to trust, than to give thanks. Because gratitude tells the universe, I noticed, I appreciate, I am open to more. And the universe responds. So now, whenever I feel stuck or small or unsure, I return to this simple prayer. Thank you, life. Just those 3 words, and I can feel the atmosphere around me brighten, because gratitude opens the flow. It lifts me out of worry and into wonder. It makes my whole being more receptive. Today and every day I remind myself, gratitude opens every door in my life. My heart overflows with appreciation and joy. And as I say those words, I feel them plant something beautiful inside me. A seed that grows with every thank you, blooming into a life filled with more to love. As I pause to reflect on this journey from awakening to energy, through release, trust, and gratitude, I am filled with a deep knowing. I no longer have to chase what I used to beg the world to give me. What I once reached for outside of myself now meets me on the path of openness. There was a time when I tried to force everything: love, success, answers, even peace. I thought the harder I worked, the more I'd be worthy of receiving. But all that striving left me exhausted and empty. Then something simple shifted. I stopped grasping. I started allowing. I softened into the truth that receiving isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's remembering that the sun rises each day without my effort, that the breeze moves through the trees without asking for permission. Life gives effortlessly, and when I match that giving energy with my own openness, miracles become natural. Now, I live in partnership with life. Each morning I place my hand over my heart and whisper, thank you, and quote, I am open, I trust, I receive, and I feel life responding in kind, not always with grand gestures, but with gentle confirmations, a moment of peace, a new opportunity, an inner knowing. This is what it means to live aligned with love. Not perfect, not in control, but present, receptive, willing to believe that good is meant for me too. So now, dear reader, let us say this together, gently, slowly, truthfully. I am open and receptive to all good, and let it echo in your heart like a promise. I release all resistance and welcome miracles. Let it settle into your body like a deep exhale. Life loves me, and I love life. Let it rise in you like a quiet Sunday. These aren't just affirmations. They are invitations to life itself. Every time I say them, I feel my energy shift. I feel old doors open and new ones appear. I feel my future smiling back at me with open arms. And the more I practice, the more I trust. Goodness is not something we earn, it's who we are. It was never missing. It was only waiting for our welcome. So if you take just one thing from these words, let it be this. You do not have to chase, prove, or perform to be worthy of receiving. You are already enough. You are already loved. You are already surrounded by blessings, waiting for your yes. Let your yes be soft. Let it be sacred. Let it be steady. Because the moment you say yes, life rushes in to bless you. Dear one, may you walk in openness. May you trust that what is meant for you is already on its way. May you remember that love is always near and that every breath is a quiet miracle. The moment you say yes, life whispers back, I love you, and it means it.